are you doing today?
I'm doing good. The sun is shining. The tank is clean. We're good.
The tank is clean.
The tank is clean.
Oh, that is one movie that will never get old.
Never.
No, we love it.
Absolutely never.
Now, you're not donning it today, which I understand because we're chilling at home. But the first thing I want to ask you about is what eyeshadow brushes and products you use, because it is always so pigmented and so evenly distributed. Please tell me your ways, my dear.
Wow, thank you.
Of course.
For shows I love doing like big eyes and glitter. I use like the NYX little glitter tube thing. And I love it. And then I also have a ColourPop palette. And ColourPop, man, for colors, it's always so pigmented. And then I just use like cheap elf brushes because a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do. So.
Girl, me too. I'm so glad you mentioned NYX because that means I'm doing something right because I use them for sure. And then we love cheap eyeshadow brushes, right? Like we don't need to spend like $40 on like a paintbrush with like 3 hairs on it, you know?
Sometimes I even just use my finger and I'm like, la, 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 and it works great. It works great.
Do you do the sound effect too when you do it? Is that like a key part of the strategy?
Yeah, there's always sound effects with everything that I'm doing. Woo, woo.
Amazing. As an artist, I feel like that's got to be integral to your daily life, is just like having music or sounds accompany your just normal life.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So Gatlin, you have a hilarious series on TikTok called Your Dating Masterclass. Of course, that has to do with your incredible song Masterclass that came out in April. But are you going to continue this dating masterclass series? Because it is so perfectly satirical and I need more. I need more of these obscure, hilarious dating tips, I guess we could
dating tips. I had planned on just doing 5, but I'm like, people like them. Let's keep it going. Let's keep the chaos alive, you know?
Now, if you could take a master class, like a real master class, what master class would you want to take? Like cooking or...
Oh, that's a good one. I feel like I don't know why this is the first thing that came to my mind, but like a master class on like how to not get lost on like subways and metros. I don't know why I feel like I was just in New York and even with my Apple Maps, I can't help but get lost and go 30 minutes in the wrong direction.
That is a fantastic idea because I grew up in DC and our metro system is not nearly as complex as the New York subway, but even at 25, I'm like, someone help me. So genius idea. God forbid Nashville ever gets a metro system. No.
Oh, it's too far gone. Nashville's too far gone. They can't tear up the city and put a metro in.
They can't fit it here. They can't. Where would they put it?
Where would they put it? There's no room. There's already too many people.
Oh my goodness. Well, speaking of Nashville, you reside here, as does your friend. I'm sure he's a fan of yours, Steven Sanchez. So you have a song coming out with like right now.
Yeah, it came out today.
Yes, that is so exciting. It's called 2,000 Miles, and I want to talk all about the song. But first, I want to know about how your friendship with Steven started. Let's talk about that friendship.
Yeah. Oh man, it was probably a little over a year ago, and my guitar player was having a house show, and this boy just walks up and I'm like, oh, you're the only person I don't know here. So I like went up and talked to him, and it was Steven, and he had just moved to Nashville, and he's just like the sweetest he's 19 and I'm 23, and so I was immediately like, Oh, you remind me of like my little brother. Like, but he's just so like mature and sweet and put together, and like such a cool vibe with him. And so yeah, we just like would always run into each other at shows, and Nashville shows can sometimes be a little like just because everyone's a musician in the room, everyone's, you know, a little more like in the back of the room or like not paying attention. And Steven and I would always like be at the front row, like dancing. And so we just like became really good friends. And yeah, he's a sweetheart.
So let's talk about the new song. So you released a version of it that's just you, and then now
Yes.
you have this version with Steven. And the song itself is about, you said, coming to terms with being happy from yourself and creating your own self happiness after you're trying to get over somebody. And I recently had a conversation with myself about, all right, you got to find the happiness within you. And it's really a choice you have to make.
Oh, yeah.
So can you talk about the conversations you've had with yourself and how you have gotten yourself to a point of generating your own happiness?
Yeah. I mean, I wrote the song. I went a little extreme as a chaotic girl does. And I was like, I need to change the scenery. I need to drive across the country and move to LA. So I now kind of split time between Nashville and Los Angeles. But that first time it was very scary because I lived in Nashville like pretty much like from 18 to 22. And so all my friends were there, and I was just like, I feel like I'm so dependent on other people for like affirmation in my career and who I am as a person, and all these things. And I was like, I want to be able to like find it in myself. And so it was almost like the drive from Nashville to Los Angeles was a lot of me like convincing myself, and like and then at some point I wasn't convincing myself that I could like do it anymore, and it just was like, yeah, I've got this. And it was really cool, just like lots of being alone, but like learning how to not be alone, like be lonely, and like find contentment in just like being by myself, and like thinking what I'm doing, like being proud of myself because I think I'm proud of myself, not because my friends tell me I should be proud of myself. Yeah, I feel like I grew up so much when I went through that process. I'm like so grown up now. I'm so grown up now.
So mature. I knew it. So now Steven is on the song. Let's talk about the elements and the voice that he adds.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Let's talk about that. So for a lot of my more pop leaning songs, I like to do a stripped down version, or I've done a duet before in the past with another artist friend of mine in Nashville. And so I was like, 2,000 Miles would be perfect, like as a duet. And I was just thinking back in, this was probably like 6-7 months ago, maybe less, probably like 5-6 months ago. I was like, I feel like Steven, just his voice is so soft and like full of emotion and just like drags you in. And I was like, I want to strip back the song, slow it down, because it's about a, you know, topic about finding your, like, that's deep. And so sometimes I like to do that, to like have the lyric really be focused on. And I was like, and Steven's voice is just incredible. And so we just went into my friend's bedroom that I know from Belmont and recorded it. And it was just so sweet. And it was very surprising to me how well our voices like meshed together. I was like, oh, I was not expecting that. That sounds pretty.
Well, of course. I mean, you complement each other. The voices complement each other super well, and it's just a beautiful track. And I'm so happy the whole world gets to hear it now. Yay! I just want to talk about you being a super fierce and confident rocker chick. Like that is so cool. And I think that that's so important. And at 23 and someone who's already seeing success doing that, and just genuinely from what we can see, having a good time being that, have you faced any obstacles coming into that, since, you know, there aren't too many rocker chicks these days, right? But I think that's such an important role to fill, and here you are doing it.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much. You know, I think a lot of work has been done in the music industry that like women before me have done that have made it a whole heck of a lot easier. I feel like I see less and less of it, especially like being an artist, you know, and because especially I almost in my head like the wave of like the Phoebe Bridgers indie girl just like has made such, and Taylor Swift like has just made such a space for like women in music to like do whatever the fuck they want, and like be sad. Oh, I don't know if I was supposed to.
You're fine. You're fine.
And I don't know. I feel like I don't really I see the obstacle with women producers so much more. And it's, yeah, just women in audio. Like they just have to work 10 times more. And that was something that I was just like, I don't think I'm like ready to touch that. Like when I like thought about like, oh, do I want to learn production and I was just like, that's just not something I'm ready to touch. So I just like admire women in audio so much, because I'm like, you are such a baddie. So I feel like they're the rock stars. I look at them and I'm like, you guys are the rock stars. Because I just think it's really, really cool.
I am so glad you mentioned women in production. Let's give it up for women in production. That is, yes, that is such a good point to make. And I hope that that scene continues to grow here in Nashville. Because now that I think about it, I don't know that many like women music producers. Like I'm a videographer as well. And I do music videos, and I don't know. Oh yeah. And I don't know that many women in Nashville, just as an example, that shoot video a lot. So production, let's go. But you are already helping to set like a continued path for just women that are gritty and fun and confident and brightly colored at the same time. So keep it up, dude.
Thanks, Aaron.
Okay. And then of course, to conclude, you have an incredible show coming up on July 30th at Exit Inn, one of the coolest venues ever. Are you stoked?
I'm so excited. I love the Exit Inn. I've so luckily gotten to play there a few times as an opener. And so like this is like, I get to headline it. And I'm just really excited. And my friend Maddie Medley is opening the show, and I've just been like such a fan of hers for so long. And yeah, I'm just so excited. I just like love getting in a room with people, and I love being on the stage, and it's the best. And Nashville is just the place that feels the most like home for me, for sure. And so yeah, it feels like a hometown show that I'm very excited. So come out, everybody. Yes. Come to the show.
That is so special. And so I was gonna ask, because this is such like a home to you, and surely you know a lot of artists here. Are you gonna have any special guests come play with you that night?
I don't know. You'll have to come check it out.
We have to find out for ourselves. I love it. That is so exciting. Well, is there anything else on the horizon that you're super stoked about that you can hint at and give us a little taste of? Or
I mean, lots of new music's coming, and I'm very excited. I just feel like I'm just writing from a new place, like a newfound confidence. And yeah, I just like believe, I think for the longest time I was like, didn't believe myself to be a songwriter, and like have a voice. And now I'm just kind of like, get out of my way. I know what I'm doing now.
So you were writing from a new place. Where do you think you've grown the most, either musically or just as a person, where this music is coming from? Is there like one aspect that sticks out to you?
Um, I think for the longest time I still felt like a kid, in a room. I was always like the youngest person in each room of writers or producers, and felt like I this kind of the same thing, like, oh, is this good? Like, what, like asking the people in the room, like, what do you think? Like, how should this sound? What lyric do you think? And now just like believing in my gut and believing in like what I think, and like sticking to that, and kind of like taking on more of like a leadership role, and just like, yeah, having way more confidence and belief in myself. I think that kind of went along with the process of like the 2000 Miles song, and so of course it like seeped into like my music that I'm writing. Yeah.
As someone who's also in their mid-20s, that is definitely something that happens, and that's awesome that you're feeling that right now, because yes, that is so good. Congratulations on that growth. Let's go.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, Gatlin, thank you so much. My cat just hopped up on my bed, and this is
Hi, Kitty.
and I just wanted her to say hi because she's just very fluffy.
She's perfect. She's perfect.
Perfect. Mwah. Well, Gatlin, this has been so fun chatting with you. There's cat hair everywhere now. And I'm so excited for your show. I'm so excited for the world to hear the new version of 2000 Miles. And I hope you have an incredible rest of your week.
Thanks, Erin. Right back at you, girl.